Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So in this video we are going to set the username. So right now you can see that on our player we have this text called name. So we are going to allow the user to create his username and sync that name across the network. So let's go back to our main scene. So we are going to provide a user with an input field to set his name. So in my canvas, in my connected screen, which is, so let me enable it. Now in here you will notice that the layout is changed. So what I did was here, actually on in the connected screen, right click on in here, go to UI and create a panel. Now right now this is the panel, so you can see that in the orange. Now on that panel, simply by clicking on the rect tool, resize it right here and put the create both of the input fields and buttons inside the room panel. First resize it and then drag these fields and button into the room panels, and I change the color to this orange and increase the alpha to 255. Now you will also see an outline here. So to do that outline, just go to add component and search for outline and change the color to white, and the effect distance on X and Y both are going to be 4. Now then I have another panel and I renamed it to name panel, and I did the same thing, change the color and put outline. Now in here we are going to create a new input field. So, or actually what we can do is we can duplicate this create room tf, drag it outside and put it in the name panel, and let's rename it to name tf, so name text field. Now also I am going to drag and drop it right here, and we also need a button. So go to UI and create a new button and rename it to set name btn. Now place it right here and I am going to resize it using a rect tool. And let's select both of them and center them. Now we are going to change the placeholder on our name text field. So in here right now you can see that it says enter room name, so we are going to say enter your name, and on the button we are going to say set name, so set name, make it bold and maybe sorry. Now let's go back to our script, and in the actually we are going to create a new script for that. So create a script with the name player name and let's open it up in the Visual Studio. And in here first of all we are going to grab the reference, public reference of this text field and this button. So let's say public input field. So to use input fields we are going to use the Unity engine.ui, and now we can access the input field and let's call it name tf with a small, and also we are going to grab the reference of button. So public button set name btn, and let's say void, so it is going to be a public function, so public void on text field change. So this function actually we are going to call this function whenever our value in the text field gets changed. So you can, if you select the field, so in here you will, in the events you will find two events for that, on value change and on end edit. So in here we are going to call that function. So in here we are going to get the value in the argument. So whatever user type in the field, we are going to get that inside this string. So we are going to check if value dot length is greater than, let's say 3, then we are going to enable our setBtn. So we can say setBtn dot interactable is going to be true, because we don't want user to press that button when the text field is empty. So by default the interactable on our button, this property is going to be false. So user can only press this button if he types more than or 3 letters. So if that is the case, then we are going to do that, and then we are going to have a function which will be on our set name. So whenever he clicks on that, we are going to set whatever user has entered here to our nickname. So let's say public void on click set name. Now to set the username on network, we are going to use Photon network. So to use the Photon network, we are going to use using photon.pun. So Photon network dot nickname, and nickname is going to be whatever user has typed in the field. So copy that nametf dot text. Now let's go back to Unity, and in here we are going to, now we are going to drag this player name. We can actually put it on the canvas. Let's put it on the launcher. So in here we are going to paste it, sorry, not my player but player name, and for nametf we are going to drag this text field, and for button we are going to drag that button. Now let's see, now we are also going to remember the username using player preferences. So let's actually leave that for now, and you can do that by simply, if user has typed his name, you can save that name in the player preferences, and next time in the start function you can check if the player has already a name, then just grab that name and put it inside the nametf. But we are not going to do that right now. So now if we run, everything should work fine. So let's see in this gameplay scene, make sure to remove that player from here. Now I am going to run that and we will see. Well, actually, if you run the game right now, our name will be successfully assigned to our player, but we also want to show that name right here, so we need to write the code for that. So let's go back to our player script, and in here we are going to get the reference of the text which we have right here. So what we are going to do is I am going to create a public text, and for that we are going to use unity engine.ui. so using unity engine.ui, and now we can say name text. Now we are going to copy that, and in the start, if the photon view dot is mine, what we can do is we can say name text dot text is going to be photon network dot nickname. So this line will set the name and update the name text. Now let's go back to our diagram, because right now you can see that on our screen we will have two players, and we are only setting the name of our local player. So the next player, the opponent player, he is also going to have the name text. So how do we access his name and update his text? So to do that, if the photon view dot is mine, so that is fine. This is going to check if the photon view is mine. So on our instance the condition is going to be true, and we are going to set our name. So now if the photon view is not mine, so in here this condition is going to be false, because that photon view is not ours. So we need to get his name and update it right here. So in here we are going to say else we are going to set the name text, which is going to be the opponent name text. Name text dot text is going to be photon network dot actually it is not going to be the photon network. We can access the properties using the photon view. So remember, we have this photon view. So by using that photon view, pv dot owner, so whoever is the owner of that photon view, get his nickname, so dot nickname. So by this way we will set both player names on our instance, and pc2 is also going to do the same. So I hope you understand this. Now let's go back to our editor, and in here we are going to assign the name text field. So right now we have our name text, so I am going to expand the player, and on canvas we have our player name. So just drag that and drop it right here, and remember to hit apply. Now remove this, and I am going to now run the game and see if it works. Well, actually we forgot to assign the functions in the main scene. So remember, we wrote the, so where is it? So in the room panel we have our create room text. We are going to work on the name panel. So on the name tf, we are in the on value change, we are going to add an event and drag our launcher right here, and on the launcher we have script called player name, and in here we have a function on tf change. So let's do that, and on the button we are also going to create an event, drag the launcher and call the on click set name, so this function right here. Now save the script and by default this connected screen is going to be disabled, so let's make it disabled. Now save the scene, and now we are going to build. So I built the game. So we have two instances. So in here I am going to set the name to fast, and in here I am going to write solution. So now you can see that our set name button is not enabled. So let me see what's going. So well, actually the problem was with our code. So in here we are using the string value, which is not going to work. So instead we are going to say name tf dot text dot length is greater than 3. So let's put 2 here, and then our interactable is going to be true. So now it is work, but we still have one problem. So let me play the game. So right now you can see that our set name button is disabled. So when I put so actually we changed the code, so which make this reference. So now we are going to again call that function. So on tf change. So right now it should work. So if the text length is greater than 2, now let me play this again, and hopefully it will work now. Now if I press, so now you can see that when I press 3, I entered 3 letters, the button is now enabled, but we still have one problem. So if I remove these, you can see the button is still enabled. So we are going to change the code. So if the length is less than 2, so in the else, what we are going to do is we are going to set the interactable back to false. Now save the script. Let's go back and check one more time. So now if I put and then remove one letter, you can see that the button is enabling and disabling. So now let's build the game. So hide that screen. So now I build the game, and you can see we both the players have their names. So first player name is fast and the second player name is text. So we can actually move right here, and you can see that both the movement and name is synced. So that's it for this video, and if you like the video, please hit the like button and make sure to subscribe my channel. And if you have any questions, please ask me in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.